All right, hopefully this is all matched up and we can get this going. Ready. Theme song in three, two, one. And welcome back to the Constitutionals podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premiere podcast from the website, C Plus Comedy. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. It's been at least a month since I've done this, so I forgot the what's it called? The protocol to make this show. But you know what? We got same battle station, new ways of doing this show, so we're booking it. What's been going on with me? I bought a mattress. Bought a new mattress. Needed one. My other one had a very deep divot in it from, I'll say it, day two of I owned it in 2015. No, excuse me, 2014 rather. Yeah. So for some odd years, I've been sleeping on a mattress with a deep little, not deep, it got deeper over the years. A small little hole, not hole, divot, in the middle because the springs were bad and it's a bad mattress. But now we're living a lap of luxury. We got a Leesa, lap of luxury with Leesa, and you know what? This is not a sponsored episode, and this show will never be sponsored. But God bless it. I love my Leesa mattress. President's Day. Oh, President's Day. Thank you, presidents, for being presidents so that we could get these sales, these mattress sales. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you've done for us, presidents. Yes. That's what they do, right? Presidents serve so that we may have sales. It's the only reason. What else is going on? Let's see. I got a new app for the Mac OS platform that will help me. That helps. Truly, it's an app that makes it more like a Windows PC. More like a PC. That snaps your Windows or what have you to the edges like you're on a PC. That's it, and it costs $8. God, but man, using it now, I can see everything I need to see on my 23-inch screen. Or 27. I think it's 23. I had a TV growing up. It was a tube TV that was, I think, maybe 20 inches, maybe less than that. It was small, but it was the TV I had my entire life. And I do believe it is the reason why I have poor eyesight now because I would have to sit so close to it because it was such a small TV. Oh, no. I remember. This is the reason why I think I have poor eyesight is because when Mass Effect and Mass Effect 2 came out on the Xbox 360, I had to sit so close to it. Like those were the last consoles, Xbox 360 and the PS3 and the Wii, that had composite cables. Like you could use composite with, I believe, the Wii U, but so anyway, I used the composite. I plugged it in 360 into my tube TV, and I remember sitting so close to it so I could see the tiny text on Mass Effect 2. I specifically remember Mass Effect 2, and then when I went to college, I got maybe a 24-inch Samsung TV that had HDMI 720p. I remember that much. And I remember buying an HDMI cable for my 360, plugging it in, and just the entire world changed. The entire world changed. Then I'll take you through a lineage of my TVs. That same tube TV, I remember one time I was cleaning the glass of it, and I sprayed the glass cleaner on it. I remember watching this happen in real time. It was dropping down towards the buttons, and I remember going, I wonder what happens when it touches the buttons. It shorted out the TV, turned the volume up all the way, and I remember freaking out, unplugging it, plugging it back in, and the colors were messed up forever. The colors were messed up forever. Oh my gosh, I was just watching a broken tube TV for years. Yeah. And then let's see. I got the Samsung, had that for a bit, and then I got I got the TV before this last one, this Sharp, which it's still in my storage unit for my apartment because I was in there earlier, getting something so I could sell it to a young man, and the TV is still there. I have to take it to my local recycling center, Charm, so that I may recycle it. I have to pay to get that recycled. So I'm excited to do that. It's been in there for months. And then I have the LG C1, which is a fantastic TV. Oh, so beautiful, so crisp, so great. I love it so much. It's a fantastic, wonderful. It's one of my favorite things I own. Yeah. So then, and then I have this Vizio in my bedroom. But that's it. That's on my TV lineage. I had a tube TV for the longest amount of time, and it just, oh boy, man, that was a bad TV. Hey, let's get into this thing. 5 minutes. 5 minutes we've been talking. Let's get into this thing. This comes from The Wrap, and some of these stories are from 4 weeks ago when I originally planned to do this episode, but a couple of them are from this week, so it's fine. LGBTQ characters in broadcast TV hit an all-time high for 2021-2022 season, Glad Study finds, written by Katie Campion over at The Wrap. This is a very interesting, very important thing that I bring up every single time I see one of these studies pop up. I love seeing these stories. Well, I love seeing these things, especially the stuff from Color of Change. But this comes from GLAAD's annual "Where Are We on TV" report. It published on last Thursday, so I think it's important to really talk about these and have them. Not just gloss over the numbers and just say like, oh, well, there's no queer people on TV. There's no women who are directing. There's no people of color who are writing or acting or whatever. We gotta champion what we have here. What we have here. The report says that of the 775 series regular characters scheduled to appear on scripted broadcast primetime programming, 11.9% or 92 of them are LGBTQ+, which marks a 2.8% increase from last year in a record high for television. Additionally, GLAAD reports that there are another 49 recurring LGBTQ characters across broadcast television, totaling 141 LGBTQ characters overall. I love powering through those letters. It's good to see that representation is ticking up ever so slightly, and I like it. I was thinking about this morning, actually, unbeknownst of the story that I put on here. There are episodes of the show Big Mouth on Netflix, where, at least for the first 3 seasons, I believe, where they abandon the plot, the ongoing story arc and the plot line of the season, and they have the kids, what I describe as talk down to the audience. and describe something about, gender identity and sexual all that stuff, and I think there's a better way to do it, and shows like Supergirl did it poorly, and I think Big Mouth does it poorly, and prove me wrong, but I don't like being talked down to. When a character, is the lead of a show and they're funny, just like the lead of a show, they're funny. And they happen to have a love life. Oh, also, they're queer. That makes sense. It shouldn't be rubbed in somebody's face that that's a character trait. That's a character is gay. I don't like that. I want them to live the same way that the rest of the straight characters live, and that is making the same mistakes that a straight character does, holding secrets from their friends. Falling for somebody they shouldn't. I like it like that. I like it. What's his name? Oh God, what is his name? I can see his face, his beautiful, handsome face. Let me see. He plays Blair on Black Monday. So Andrew Rannells. Okay, Andrew Rannells. I love it that his character on Black Monday, clearly gay from the outset, but he's married to a woman who is Casey Wilson, the wife and actor of the show creator David Casp. I think that's very funny. He's playing a straight man, and then later on, we're like if you know Andrew Reynolds, oh, he's definitely a gay man, and yeah. There we go. I like it like that. And shows like Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, they handle it very well. Anyway, representation's going up. We need to go more and higher. Let's do it, baby. This comes from the New York Times, next one. Surrounded by big tech, small podcast shops swim with the sharks. This comes written by Reggie Ugwu. Ugwu? UGWU. It's talking about how indie publishers have to deal with indie companies have to deal with bigger giants like Spotify and Amazon and Sirius, who are buying up smaller companies. Well, not even smaller, but smaller companies than them. Like Amazon bought up Wondery, and Spotify bought Gimlet, and Sirius bought Earwolf. Howl is what I said. Earwolf, which is owned by whatever media company. I am so sorry. I should have turned that off when I had a chance. And so it's interesting. It's funny to see that, even within this big world of big pot. If you hear The Simpsons in the background, I'm sorry. I have the episodes on FX. I have the TV on FX. That's what happens. And if I just sounded clear, it's because I turned my mic up. Okay. So it's you have to see how these smaller companies are able to, I wouldn't say thrive, but live in a world where some shows like the Joe Rogan Show, or that's what it's called, Joe Rogan Show, Dax Shepard's podcast, they're bought and they're sold and they're put on exclusives and you can't access it anywhere. But then these other ones, the only way they can live is by putting all of their shows behind the paywall, and they also have to. That's the only way they can survive. Put the shows behind the paywall, and then when they make something free, it comes at a cost. So they have to put advertisers, but advertisers don't pay as much. And as opposed to me going out and saying I'm going to buy a full season of a show or and I'm still talking about podcasts here. So here's the example that a CEO gives. If you're spending $500,000 to make a show that doesn't have a very large built-in audience, you're not going to be making any money at first. So let's say this person gives about 10 episodes for the first season, and that might get 600,000 downloads per episode to break even with advertising alone. So you have to keep doing that. You have to keep building that. But again, you have to have that audience first. And a lot of these shows don't have that audience. And this is talking to a company who I didn't even know existed. But they have their own imprint. And how dare I not mention the company? That's very rude. It's a profile of a company called Prologue Projects, created by Leon Neyfakh. Neyfakh. I do not curse on this show. You would think that'd be an African guy, but it's not. It's a white guy. But they're making real shows here. They originally partnered with Luminary, and who funded Luminary is the subscription platform, podcast platform that has shows like Dave Chappelle's podcast and a bunch of other A-list celebrity podcasts as well that I'm sure you could miss. Luminary funded the subscription podcast platform that funded the exclusively distributed the first 4 seasons of their original show, of Prologue Project's original show, Fiasco, had not chosen to renew that deal. So now they're having to do it on their own. And I was thinking about this. Luminary, I saw an article that said, and I don't know if it's on here. I don't think it is. Luminary, I think the Luminary CEO or somebody at Luminary, a big executive, said that they're doing well. Like, they're just doing just fine. And I see their lineup, and if I was still like super into podcasts like I was, even 2 years ago, then I would have jumped on that train immediately. But I just, now it's like everything, it's not special anymore, and there's no reason in continuing to try to keep up with everything. And when everybody has their own, like I saw, who was it? David Spade and David Spade. It's not Martin Short. Oh, God, this is so bad. Let's see who it has. David Spade and Dana Carvey. They have a podcast, Fly on the Wall, and it's doing well. It's like, if you look at the only reason I know it's doing well is because if you look at the ratings on Apple Podcasts, that's an indication of a show doing well. And they have a lot of great people they've interviewed. They talked to John Hamm. They've talked to Tom Hanks. Speaking of Tom Hanks, there's a podcast called Dead Eyes from Connor Ratliff, who 20 years ago, he did an audition for Tom Hanks, the show, what was that called? The Pacific? What? God, now I gotta. This is taking too much. This is taking too much of my time. All right, Dead Eyes. Dead Eyes podcast. Let's see. So, what was the show that he did? That he auditioned for? So, Connor auditioned for the show Band of Brothers, the 2001 miniseries on HBO, Band of Brothers, and apparently Tom Hanks said he had dead eyes. There's a whole story behind it, and I've heard this story for the past, I would say, 4 or 5 years, just by following Connor and his story, his career and everything. But Tom Hanks was just on the podcast this week, and it was a very good conversation. Where Connor got to talk to him about him saying there's dead eyes. Anyway, if you look at the Apple Podcast ratings, that's how you know a show is doing well. If you look at the ratings, they have a lot of ratings because people take the time to rate a podcast. I mean, come on. So anyway, I would have pounced on that opportunity to listen to these shows, or to subscribe to Luminary and spend $5 a month, and subscribe to Stitcher Premium and spend $5 a month, or subscribe to Comedy Bang Bang World and listen to all those shows. But now there's just no point, because it's all kind of just blending together, and that's how it feels to me. But that's to the eye, left in the eye of the listener, the beholder, and truly, it's none of my business. That's what everything is to me. It's none of my business. But I do think that there's, even I know I've been kind of harsh on podcasts, especially to the podcasting medium, especially in my own time, where I've never told anybody this, where I'm just like, every time I see someone else's podcast, I go, God, like, it's a waste of time. Don't do it. Like, so multiple people have approached me because I do this stupid show, and they go, hey, I'm going to do a podcast. I'm like, no, don't do it. Don't. It's hard. You're going to, like, they think they're going to make money, and they think, they see all these people, all these famous people out here making money, and it's not like that. And but now it's like it's not special anymore, and there's just no. I'm not saying there's no point, but you find a way to make it your own if you're going to do one, and don't expect anything big from it. That's all I can tell you, because you know what? That's all I got for you. I don't know. Hey, listen, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the rest of the stories I got. So we're going to, I haven't done this in a while. I pressed the going to break song, and la-di-da, it didn't work. On the back, 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Maybe I just left the first part I just said in. And if I didn't, you don't know what I'm laughing about. Nova's staring at me because it is time for her dinner. Hey, if you see, if you're watching the video, you'll see there's a lot of things not a lot of things, just a couple of things have happened over the course of me not doing this show for a little bit. So if you're watching the video, you're seeing the camera move over to my left, which is now camera right, but you're seeing a new canvas painting that I have. I bought it at an antique store. It is a tiger, and it is the most colorful thing you've seen. The tiger's in black and white, and there's paint splatters all over in the background and on the tiger itself. It's a good piece of art. I saw it at this antique store And I I passed it and I went, wow, this is pretty cool. At first I went, whoa, this is pretty ugly. And then like 5 seconds passed and I go, actually, it's pretty cool. I think I want this. And then the person I'm with, we're just walking around and I go, you think I should get this painting? And then I texted like 2 or 3 people. I go, what do you think of this painting? And then before anybody responds, I go, I'm going to get this painting. And yeah, so I spent a good $65. Oh, well, yeah, hold on. I don't want to tell you how much I spent on it. It's too late. I said 65. Anyway, that's what I got. I love it. It's a good thing to have in the background of my meetings at job site. Is what I call it. Hey, let's get into the stories again. We're going into the world of streaming, so be prepared. The first 2 stories are from this week, and the last 3 are from the last 6 are from like 4 weeks ago. But I think it's important that I need to address it. This first one comes from the Hollywood Reporter. Oh, the app that I got for the Mac OS system that makes it snap pages, your open windows, is called Magnet, I believe. I felt that, yes, Magnet. I felt that it was important that I mentioned it. So here we go. This first story comes from the next story comes from Hollywood Reporter, written by J. Clara Chan and Alex Weprin. We know that guy. Love that guy. Welcome to the club, J. Clara Chan. NBC Universal ends Hulu content sharing deal. So, you know what that means. Everything is going to Peacock, baby. You like watching SNL the next day? Peacock. You like watching American Idol the next day? Peacock. Law and Orders? Peacock. The Mindy Project? Peacock. Even though, oh my God, the Mindy Project, I was reading that off the cuff. I had no idea that was an NBCU Universal produced show. It was on Fox, and it didn't. Fox renewed it reluctantly for like 3 years, and then it moved to Hulu, and then Hulu was like, "Hey, we'll take it," because it was before streaming exclusives were a thing. It's a move that I thought I could think was going to show. A couple of we're going to talk about Paramount in a minute or so, but Paramount, ViacomCBS, excuse me, I broke the seal. ViacomCBS, they mentioned how is it Bob Backish? They mentioned how it was better for them. This is maybe like less than 6 months ago, or 6 months or so ago. They mentioned that it was better for them to have their shows on different platforms and also have some of the stuff that they like that they make on Paramount Plus. So what I mean is have South Park go to Hulu or HBO Max. Have what's another show? Have Star Trek shows stream on Netflix, Prime, and Hulu at the same time they're streaming on Paramount Plus. But then, in a couple of weeks ago, the article came out. They said, yeah, we kind of regret sending South Park over to HBO Max, and South Park's going to revert back to Paramount Plus, or revert to Paramount Plus in 2 or 3 years after that contract is up. But for now, HBO Max gets South Park episodes, and you know what? It's not like Hulu. It's not next day. You don't get it the next day. You watch it the day after that, which I think stinks. But also, South Park kind of stinks now, so not kind of, it does. So the content deal for NBCU was nearing an end date, and this is just a way to bolster what Peacock has available. What sucks is Amber Ruffin's show came back, and now that show's behind the paywall on Peacock. It used to be a free show. I used to watch it every single week, but now I gotta watch clips. I'm not paying for Peacock. I'm done paying for subscriptions. I'm done. And this next one is also about Peacock. It comes from the Wall Street Journal. It's an exclusive written by Benjamin Mullen. MSNBC will stream much of the TV lineup on Peacock. I was checking my email last night. I get a survey from Wall Street Journal. I love doing the surveys because maybe they'll offer me something at the end. but I did, and I'm doing surveys for every company that I like pay. I love doing a survey. Even like Target, love doing a survey. Hulu, love doing a survey. But for the Wall Street Journal survey, they talked about how they were introducing oh God, what is it called? Like a young professionals subscription for the Wall Street Journal. And they said it's going to be half the cost of a regular subscription plus, okay, so half the cost, but then they also asked at the end of the survey, they had a list of like 10 things maybe. And it said, what would be important for the subscription? App access, access to save articles, like simple stuff that a regular subscription should have. But yeah, anyway, be on the lookout for that within the coming, I guess months. But I was for it. I said, yes, this would be great. People under 35, if you're willing to read the Wall Street Journal like I am, then let's do it. Let's go. And maybe they could loosen up the conservativeness a little bit. Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay. Wall Street Journal. MSNBC will stream much of TV lineup on Peacock, written by Benjamin Mullen. So right now, there are, and I'm going to do an episode of News Time about this with a script in a couple of weeks, because CNN Plus is launching on March 29th, I think, something like that. So there is, so in April 4th, I believe I'm doing that episode. I've already planned it out. I'm planned out until mid-April. And yet it takes me weeks to do one. Don't worry, I've got 3 in the can right now. So beginning the spring, shows like, so CNN Plus is coming out. Fox News has their streaming service. Every news network is going to have its own streaming service, or cable news network is going to have its own streaming service at some point, including CBS, which will, I don't know what they're doing for Paramount Plus, but they got to do something. I know I have it in my notes. I don't care to look. And watch the episode of News Time when it comes out. But shows like Morning Joe, All In with Chris Hayes, The Readout, that's all going to be heading to Peacock. It's going to be I don't know if you're going to be able to stream it live, but it's going to be the next day thing. MSNBC President Rashida Jones said in an interview that the streaming push will introduce the TV shows to viewers who watch the network's channel on Peacock, which is now called The Choice. That's going to be phased out. The Choice is just a political thing. I guess it was the name they came up with, and it's a bad brand name. But anyway, some shows are not going to appear on the MSNBC's channel programming for Peacock. Rachel Maddow's show, The Last Word, The 11th Hour. Is the 11th Hour still going on? Brian left, so I don't know what's going on there. NBCU Universal. This move is part of an effort by their chairman, Cesar Conde, to transition the company's news networks towards streaming as viewers cut the cable cord. I hate that sentence. The group's offerings include NBC News Now, an advertising-supported streaming service that is widely distributed on services, including Alphabet's YouTube and Roku's Roku channel. So CNN Plus, again, like I said, is coming. $5.99 a month. It's gonna have their biggest stars. Fox News started Fox Nation, and it's got their biggest stars. So MSNBC is kind of late to the party, even though they should be the most hip to it. What does it say about CBS News? Oh, CBS News in January relaunched a streaming network, which now includes all of its broadcast programming and live round-the-clock coverage. And this is a very smart move for them. I see this working in, I guess in all of their favors. So like with things like the Russian-Ukraine war going on right now, and other presidents talking about how they've won elections, capitals being stormed. The 24-hour news cycle, of course, obviously is not the most popular thing going, but some of us are applying for jobs there, and we're watching our mouths. But yeah, I mean, it's streaming. This is the next evolution for this news stuff, and it only, at least with CNN Plus, they're going to have a differentiation in programming. And from what I understand, so does Fox Nation. So hopefully Peacock's MSNBC channel can do the same thing. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for that. Let's move on. This all is next. All part of all. It's all part is about Paramount Plus, baby. Paramount Plus. You hear that, Tiger? All right. Hi, Tiger. Like MJ from the original Spider-Man trilogy. The best Spider-Man trilogy. This one comes from Variety, written by Cynthia Littleton. Goodbye, Viacom and CBS. ViacomCBS changes corporate name to Paramount. So this makes sense. They want to create a brand strategy or a combined brand for all of their assets. When people see ViacomCBS, they go, "Who?" Especially like the regular person. They go, "What?" ViacomCBS? I know CBS. What is Viacom? Comedy Central, VH1, MTV. Oh, okay, that's Viacom. Why? And the Paramount makes sense. Paramount is a big name, but when people see Disney, they know what's under the Disney umbrella. They know ABC, ESPN. They know Disney Channel, Disney Junior, where Bluey airs. I love Bluey. I watch it almost every single day. It's so funny. That's a true thing. I love Bluey. And so them melding down into Paramount is a good thing. This is, for context, this is almost a month old. This comes from February 15th. That's what I was planning on doing this episode. But time slipped away. And in that announcement, they mentioned, this comes from Variety, written by Jennifer Moss, Paramount Plus Showtime, top 56 million subscribers combined at the end of 2021. Now, CBS All Access, which is now Paramount Plus, had a head start on all of the current streamers, save for Hulu and Netflix. And for all the paid streamers, rather, I guess, that came after Hulu and Netflix. And the combined subscription count, what was that? The combined subscription count is not something that should be balked. It's just commonplace for something that's essentially a bundle. You know, they're just saying, hey, since we're Paramount, we can put everything under one banner. So Disney Plus, so Disney can say Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN's subscriptions, which are 129.8 million for Disney Plus, Hulu with 45.3 million, and ESPN Plus with 21.3 million. They can say to investors, these are all our subscribers. It doesn't matter where they came from. It doesn't matter what service they use. These are the people. These are the ones that matter. They all matter most. They all matter together because that's what it means when you're fighting a world that has Netflix in the leader as of December 2021 at 221.8 million. So Discovery is coming up next after Paramount. So it's Netflix, Disney, Paramount, Discovery with 22 million. That includes Discovery Plus, Food Network Kitchen, as well as their other insular ones. And I can only assume that those will be melded with HBO Max in the after the merger in April, which has been okayed. HBO Max has 43.3 million. So add on that 22 million, that brings it to 65.3, and they'll have more than Paramount, and they'll Discover Warner Media will already, or Warner Media Discover, whichever the heck it's going to be called, is going to be immediately surpassing Paramount. Peacock's up there with 9 million, with 9 million paid, 24.5 million monthly active, because it's a free service. And then Prime Video rather, 200 million plus Prime members. That does not say how many people are using it. And Apple TV Plus, roughly 40 million subscribers per the information. Does not, but that's from September, and it does not know whether people are watching it. Now, I will say, literally 20 minutes before I was just started recording the show, I was watching Severance over there on Apple TV Plus. And then I was scrolling through all of the shows they have and the movies, and I just thought, you know what? I like Apple TV Plus a lot. I think Apple TV Plus is a good streamer. It should not exist, but I think it's a good streamer. It shouldn't exist. They should be producers. But such is life. They're making a car. So the Paramount Plus subscribers rise, and eventually you're going to be seeing, this comes from the Hollywood Reporter, written by Pamela McClintock. Paramount Plus is going to stream all sister studio movies beginning in 2024. Paramount Pictures presently licenses both as Paramount Plus and Epix to both Paramount Plus and Epix during the Pay One window. So you'll see a lot of movies like Snake Eyes, the G.I. Joe spinoff that was made for some reason and that I want to see for many reasons. It looks like a cool movie. And it appears on Epix. You'll see a bunch of movies that go to Epix first. Sometimes a split between Epix and Hulu and Epix and Paramount Plus. And I think that's just how Epix generally keeps it. Epix stays afloat. Epix is a cable network that's like HBO and Showtime and Stars, but worse. That being said, hey, Epix, I'll make a show for you, baby. I know you got Harlem or some other shows over there. I'll do it. But we're eventually just going to see what Disney does, what HBO, what Warner does on HBO Max. We're eventually going to see movies just appear on Paramount Plus after their for their day one, pay one windows or whatever it's called. Oh, what's coming on after this? And then we'll see. This comes from the Hollywood Reporter. This all came the same day. I swear, this all came the same day because they had their reports, their monthly reports or quarterly reports. Written by Leslie Goldberg, my dear friend. Don't know why I looked up and pointed. She's not dead. Showtime Originals to join Paramount Plus for a fee. Right now, just like... Okay, so Disney Plus, you get the Disney bundle. If you want, you get Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. On Hulu, you can subscribe to on Hulu and Amazon Prime. You can subscribe to different channels and have HBO, Stars, Showtime, whatever. Amazon, you can also do Shudder and AMC Plus, which are the same thing, and Discovery Plus and all this stuff. Or on Peacock and Paramount Plus, you can do. In Hulu, you can do an ad tier or a free tier. In the case of Peacock, a free tier, an ad tier, or no ad tier. That's going to be extended into what they're calling the Paramount Plus Essential tier and the Showtime service. With which is the Paramount Plus Essential tier is going to be $12. And then the ad-free version with Showtime is going to be $15. And you're going to get some Showtime shows. I don't believe it's all of them, but this summer you're going to start seeing Showtime shows appear on Paramount Plus as kind of an incentive to have that. All the while, you're going to be able to subscribe to Showtime still. But I think it's going to be obviously they're phasing out the Showtime Anytime app and the Showtime app. Which are two different apps. Just like HBO and HBO Now and HBO Go. Showtime Anytime and Showtime are two different apps. Showtime Anytime is the one you subscribe to, the one you use if you have cable. Showtime is just the one you subscribe to. So we're going to see shows like Desus and Mero and Yellow Jackets and Dexter New Blood live on Paramount Plus for an extra fee. And that's great. That's wonderful. It's high time they do this. I think with the rebranding that happened this past summer, I think that's what they should have done in the first place. That's what their initial thoughts should have been. Just because what it amounted to was, hey, we're adding Comedy Central shows to CBS All Access. We're changing the name from CBS All Access to Paramount Plus, and boom, now you can watch a few more things. And they had those commercials where all the characters and people in Gayle King were walking up a mountain, and this is like, Paramount Plus, we're here. And they're queer, get used to it. But Showtime should have been in the additional run of that. They should have brought over Dexter. They should have brought over Desus and Mero to join the late night lineup and get rid of friggin' Charlamagne the God. So Showtime Originals will be showing up soon. And as I mentioned before, South Park and Beavis and Butthead are going to be streaming exclusively on Paramount Plus. I don't know if I mentioned the Beavis and Butthead part. I definitely did not, but here we go. And so that's what's going on with Paramount Plus. That's what's going on with Paramount itself. They're trying to fight back Netflix and Disney, and I think at right now their main competition, and it's truly not competition. I mean, people are going to subscribe to these are the big players, and the only people they have to worry about fending off is Stars, because Lionsgate is I would love to see Lionsgate sell Stars off so we could kill Stars, and actually no, they have a lot of good stuff. The Girlfriend Experience, American Gods. 2 shows I watched 3 episodes of and have not made it back to. Hey, listen, if you like what you heard here, don't know why you would, head over to the website, cpluscomedy.com, where there's some stuff that maybe you'll like. Who knows? You can, if you want to see a video version of the show, head to youtube.com/cpluscomedy. We can see News Time. There are 3 episodes coming your way. I'm looking at their docs, their Google Docs right now. One's about Russia, Ukraine, and the entertainment industry. One's about doing shows during the pandemic, getting jobs done, getting TV shows done during the pandemic, and movies during the pandemic. And a bunch of NPR people of color left NPR. Because they don't know what to do. The company does not know what to do. The organization, whatever. Anyway, Instagram, Twitter, at C Plus Comedy, me on both of those, at Chad Black White. Like us on Facebook, rate, review, subscribe. You see how important I just told you it was. Rate, review, subscribe to the show. Thank you for listening. And there's no clever thing for me to say here. So, oh God, I pressed the button again without pressing the, all right, whatever. Here we go.